Welcome to part 2 of our series on the parts of speech. In this episode, we're going to be describing the role of nouns. Nouns are really the building block of almost any language. One of the first things that children learn as babies are nouns. When you go to study a foreign language, you tend to spend a lot of time looking at nouns, and nouns are going to be kind of the most basic part of speech that we will look at. So in this part 2 of our Parts of Speech series, we're going to be looking at the definition of nouns, several examples of different kinds of nouns, proper nouns and how they are used and capitalized, the concept of the collective noun, and a very specific type of noun known as a gerund. So the definition of a noun is that it is a person, place, thing, or some people even add the idea of an idea. So persons include all words like girl, grandfather, names of people like Rosa Parks or an officer. Places, including school, Crabtree Valley Mall, like a very specific place that you might go to, home, valley. And then there's things, books, movies, popcorn, all those kinds of things that you can taste and touch. And finally, the concept of an idea. These include emotions, qualities, activities, things like peace, justice, love, sadness, pride, and winning. Nouns are a person, place, thing, or ideas. Nouns fall into one of two broad categories known as common nouns and proper nouns. Proper nouns, it's easier to kind of explain. Proper nouns are the names for things. When you're talking about a very specific person, place, thing, or idea, then you're talking about a proper noun. Proper nouns are always capitalized. Common nouns are basically everything else. They're the general quality of things without giving something a specific name. So a common noun would be mother, but a specific noun, a proper noun, would be mom when you use that as her name for her. So you might say something like, my mother is in the other room, but if you're talking to her directly or talking like with your sister, say, mom is coming for dinner tonight. You're using that as her name, and that becomes a proper noun. The common noun is president. That could be any president that's ever existed, a president of the United States, a president of your local chess club, any kind of a president. But the proper noun would be Barack Obama, George W. Bush, George Washington. The names of very specific presidents would be capitalized and would be proper nouns. Then there's things like store, and a specific store name would be Forever 21. Movies in general are common nouns, but the name of a specific movie would be a proper noun. And the same thing goes on with other categories. So the thing to remember is that if you're naming something as very specific and you're capitalizing it, you're looking at a proper noun as opposed to a common noun. Now, collective nouns are a cool kind of subcategory of nouns. A collective noun is when you have a single word and it refers to a group of people, but it's treated as a singular unit. These would include words like band, army, class, crowd, flock. Now, you know that a class of students is going to be more than one person, but when we talk about it as a group, we refer to it as a singular unit. So we say the army is marching, not the army are marching. The band plays early, not the band play early. Now, this is one of the distinctions between American English and British English, because American English will always treat these collective nouns as a singular group, as a singular unit, taking a singular verb form. Gerunds fall under a category of words known as verbals. These are words that get their form from a verb, but they do other jobs in a part of speech. So this is a noun that may look like a verb. It has an ing form. It's the kind of thing you're used to seeing with action. But if you look again at the job that it's doing, it's naming something within the sentence. It's telling you that this is a person, a place, thing, or idea, even though it has an ing form. And again, this is known as a gerund. Now, here are some examples of some common gerunds. You look at the word swimming. Now, you see that ing, and your temptation would be to think that that's an action. You know, I swim. And in that case, it would be. But if you look at how it's used in this sentence, swimming is my favorite way to spend the summer. It becomes the activity, or the noun, the thing, is your favorite way to spend the summer. Believing in Santa and the Tooth Fairy is fun for children. Again, it's the act of doing this action here. It's not a verb form, but it becomes what we call a gerund. It's that ing verb that's acting as a noun. He has won lots of trophies for fishing. That's the activity, the hobby of fishing. Hobby would be a noun. Same thing with bowling. Let's go bowling after school. Bowling in this case refers to the specific activity that you would do, so that's a noun. So in each of these sentences, the gerund is an ing form of a verb, but it's acting as a thing. It's doing the job of a noun to name a person, place, thing, or idea within that sentence. And now for a fun way to review, if you follow this link below here, it will take you to a YouTube video of the classic children's cartoon versions of Grammar Rock. And Grammar Rock is a fun little short video that's going to teach you some really catchy songs and ways to think about nouns and some of the other parts of speech that we'll be studying later on in this series.